peace, and love. It's your boy Chris Enlightened coming back again with some more spiritual battles. And today I'm going in on trauma bonding. Ooh, this is a good one, family. This is a good one. Trauma bonding. Ooh. Now, either you or someone you know is addicted to trauma bonding. And trauma bonding is nothing more than feeling good about sharing all your unfavorable situations or shortcomings. I've been in meetings, I've been in consultations, I've been around family members and friends, I've been on Facebook, Instagram, and people love trauma bonding. And trauma bonding is nothing more when you tether your consciousness to an unfavorable situation and you fight for your limitations. That's trauma bonding. When you're telling people, hey, this is going on in the world, what are we gonna do? And they're like, I don't know, what are we gonna do? That's trauma bonding. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying protesting is trauma bonding. If you have a need to do that, you do that. I'm 45 years old. I don't have the time to be out there on the forefront fighting the power anymore like that. When I was a young man, I had the energy, the impetus, momentum, and I had the mental stamina to do that. I don't have time to do that anymore. But if you're young and you feel a need to do that, feel free to do that. Trauma bonding is when you're out with your friends and all you guys are doing is embracing low vibratory energy and you ain't solving nothing. When you came in the door, you had negative energy. When you left, you had that same negative energy. And it's even compounded because you bonded with other individuals that was usurping their negative energy. You know what I mean, family? So you really need to be mindful about trauma bonding. It's not good for you. It's not conducive to opening up doors of opportunity for you either. Because whatever you ingest, whatever you say, whatever you put out to the universe believes you and is going to give you more of that which you feel as if you deserve or need. It's just as simple as that, family. It's just as simple as that. When I was younger, I will tell you a great example of trauma bonding. When I was younger, me and my boys used to play your daddy ain't crap game. And what we would do is whoever would win would be the person whose daddy was the worst. And we would play this game like my daddy's in jail. I don't even know my daddy. My daddy beat me. My daddy cheat. My daddy don't do nothing. You know, and whoever had the worst daddy was the winner. And we actually felt good about having the worst daddy. We were trauma bonding. And that was something that was taught to us by other older boys in the hood. You know what I mean? It was something we seen them do, and it was just something we did. Was it good or bad? It's not neither good or bad. It just is what it is. So whenever you're on a phone call and you got that friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, cousin, great aunt, whoever it is, when they call you dumping their mental dumpster juice in your cup and asking you to sip from it, just kind of let them know, hey, I'm trying to evolve spiritually. I don't have time for any negative conversations right now. I know this program and I'm no longer subscribing to it. And one or two things will happen. They'll either fight for your own limitations to do it anyway, and that's when you hang up the phone, or if they love you or respect you enough, they'll refrain from doing it. Another way to trauma bond is cursing. I did a video on the language of demons. Check that video out. And I talk about how cursing invokes negative energy in your life. You know what I mean, family? And that's another form of trauma bonding. You're in a setting and someone's cursing, you'll feel the need to curse too. That's a subconscious trauma bonding. And whenever there's a high level of cursing going on in the neighborhood, there's always more violence, always more negativity. It just breeds that type of energy. So you really need to be mindful about the energy of trauma bonding and partaking or choosing to subscribe to that trauma bonding program. If you're watching the news, if you're still watching the news, that's trauma bonding. That's the precursor to trauma bonding, because the news is doing nothing more than planting seeds of doubt in your consciousness. It's making you afraid of things. You're not watching the news and it's always positive. Good news is news too, but you very rarely hear that. It's always somebody getting shot, something negative going on, because that's what trauma bonding is. And if you can't go a week without watching the news, you need to do a spiritual assessment on yourself. I haven't watched the news in years. If the news happened to come on in my house, I get up quick and cut it off. Because you know you escape the energy of trauma bonding when negative things they're repugnant to you. Yeah, hold up the conversation. Let me cut this off. Because you know what it's going to do to you on a subconscious level. And most people aren't aware that their subconscious mind controls 85% of your thoughts in your waking state. It's true. Most of what you do is controlled by your subconscious mind. So you got to be really mindful of what you feed it. If you're always feeding it trauma, negativity, poverty consciousness, spiritual poverty, you're going to develop a need to feed off of it. Because those negative, low vibratory entities are going to compel you or coerce you to feed them by watching more or listening to more of that negativity, family. It's just as simple as that. But when you start ingesting entities of light, you'll be compelled or coerced to do more things of light. You'll be meditating more, saying divine prayers more, putting positive salutations out in the universe. Your astute vernacular will change. You won't be using barnyard vernacular anymore. You won't be cursing as much anymore. You'll refrain from cursing. And if you do, it'll leave a stanky stench on your mandible, on your tongue. You know what I mean, family? I can attest to it. If something makes me mad enough to make me curse, I feel bad. And I apologize to myself and the universe for choosing to subscribe to trauma bonding. Just as simple as that. So if you want to grow spiritually, family, you gotta refrain from trauma bonding. Stop sharing all your negative energy with people. Deal with it. Stop being a dumpster juice giver. I don't dump my dumpster juice on anyone because I've dealt with it. And if you want to grow spiritually, you gotta do that too. If someone tells you sulking, being mad at the world, fighting the power, the man got his foot on my neck, if someone's like that around you, they're not going to be growing spiritually. I'm just being real with you. They're going to be growing spiritually in an unfavorable way because you're going to either evolve or devolve. But your light is your real spiritual currency in the spiritual world, family. The more light you have, the more light you use. And when you transition, you're going to be graded on how much light you have and how much light you use, family. Once I found that out, I said, you know what? I'm going to spend the rest of my life working on my light because it's worth something. It means something. My light and my consciousness are going to follow me from incarnation to incarnation. You know what I mean, family? And I don't know about you. I like getting good grades. I want to be graded well on how much light I have and how much light I've used. You're also going to be graded on how much darkness you have in you and how much darkness you use too, family. So be mindful of how much negativity you ingest willingly. So on that note, family, hopefully you got some jewels on trauma bonding. Hopefully you refrain from trauma bonding with people and choose to usurp your divinity and claim your divinity. Okay, family? So if you want to support me, go out to Amazon.com, pick up any one of my 5 books, The Enlightened Talk, Poverty Consciousness, Wealth Consciousness, Dissolving Your Limitations, or Consciousness Equals Choice. They're all bangers. They're more like spiritual manuals. I have jewels in these books that will help you win. I have rituals in these books that have helped me and thousands of other people around the world win. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You know what I mean, family? So on that note, I hope you got some jewels. You already know what I'm doing. I'm out here winning.